Okay, recording started. It's like it went into a whole nother channel, Scott.
Yeah, it really did.
I was like, what the heck just happened? All right, cool. Anyway,
On
we're
1, 3, 2.
word.
You recording?
I'm recording.
I'm recording.
It is what it is, bro. We
You
gonna
see recording time?
Yeah, I see my thing
10
recording.
seconds, 11 seconds, 12 seconds, 13
13,
seconds.
14, 15, 16. I think
Whatever.
we're off maybe for a few seconds. I'm turning my recording thing down though, because it's picking me up heavy. There we go. That's a little better. Yeah. Okay. I guess we should start doing this thing, right? This is so great. 32 seconds in. It's your boy Matt.
It's your boy Gio.
And we the dads of the Dale.
Oh.
Ooh.
Wow.
Gonna peak
Wow.
nice and good on mine.
I mean, testing things out all over, bro.
Wow. I feel like you think you figured it out until you didn't, bro.
Bro, we ain't figuring nothing
You
out.
ain't figured nothing out, bro.
Nothing.
Y'all probably seen a whole bunch of different stuff. So now I got a mic. Gio left his Yeti mic. Then he's got his mic, but he can't hear himself through the mic in the headphones.
I can't. Well, I could hear him. I could hear, but I'm recording to a device, not my computer this time. So no audio files in the background. Like I just want to show
It's all, I'm also excited too because now I can move my head and it's not bouncing, because my speakers aren't on my headphones.
Right.
So it's not like scratching and scrapping in my beard. I feel
It's
so good about that. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna buy myself a new Yeti at some point. That way we're both on par and it can go straight to the computer.
We'll be fire, bro. I'm telling you, dog. A few episodes from now, we gonna be so dope.
Yo, listen, that's what's gonna make it so dope is that we're figuring it out. Like,
this
we had
perfect.
good help in the past, but we're doing it now.
Yeah, man. We are
taking control of our podcast.
Taking control. I might need to get one of those little microphones. Little, what's the word? Suppressor.
It's called
kind of like what you got on yours. You got a little foam around it.
Yeah. It stops the RPs and the S's and stuff like that.
I put a blanket over it. I put a blanket over it yesterday, and I was like, I probably shouldn't have this red blanket because I'm like, it's gonna be all in the screen. I thought about putting a black sock on it.
I used to record at my friend's house, I would put a sock on his. Like, we didn't have a good recording studio, so we put a sock over a regular mic, and that's how we would record all our music.
Yeah.
You go back and listen to it. It's bad.
It's all good. What you drinking today? You got your stuff, or you?
I do, bro. Bro, sangria it up, bro. Always the same.
I got a little Mike's Hard Lemonade. You probably ain't gonna be able to see it because of the blur. Oh, there it is. Hey.
Cheers.
Thanks, Mike.
Cheers.
I don't know you in person.
Carlos Rosie. Shout out to Carlos Rosie.
Right, boy. This hard black cherry lemonade. What?
Come on, lemonade.
Done got hot. Sitting here for 30 minutes.
Trying to figure out this audio stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, guys. We
are good.
Here on the Cinco de Mayo.
Dang, bro.
Tuesday.
I did not even realize that what today was, bro. Not even close.
Greatest meme that has dropped today. Cinco de Mayo falls on a Taco Tuesday, but nobody can go out and celebrate because of the coronavirus.
Only to be ruined by a Mexican beer, bro.
By a Mexican beer.
Why does this thing, it keeps autos picking up, whatever. I shouldn't be talking about that stuff. Anyways, the volume, the recording volume keeps picking up and changing. So it's like I can see myself going whoop, 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 and I'm like, I ain't trying to talk so loud, man. I ain't trying to talk that.
Because you are just figuring your levels out. That's all.
Right. The computer's.
That's all it is. There's moments where you're chilling, and there's moments where you get excited. So do what people in concerts do. Pull away from the mic.
That's it, bro. Yeah.
When I went to Sade's concert, I thought she was lip syncing until she did that, and then I was like, "Yo, this woman is the truth."
Right on, bro.
She's right on. Truth, man.
Sade is the truth, man. Gangster, bro. So it is Cinco de Mayo. Didn't realize it was Cinco de Mayo until like 3:00. I had a conversation with my brothers and my cousin, and then my brother Nashawn posted our screenshot of our call on Instagram. Yeah, and it had Cinco de Mayo, and I was like, oh, right, it is the 5th of May. May the 4th was yesterday,
Yo, May the 4th be with you. Tomorrow's Revenge of the 6th.
Is that how it goes? Wow.
Well, I mean, usually they call it Revenge of the Fifth, Revenge of the Sixth. I mean, Revenge of the Sixth, Revenge of the Sixth tomorrow, May the 4th, May the Force. I don't know. I mean, I always thought that the Jedi and the Force got like one day, and the Sith got 2 days, the fifth and the sixth.
Who cares? No matter.
Because rule of two. Anyways, deep cut nerd. Um, that being said, yeah, here we are, man. We are making this happen. We finally have made it happen, and this time, thousands of miles away. If you're in a car, 10 hours away.
Right. The boy that moved to Georgia, y'all.
I'm in Georgia, dog.
So we might actually need y'all help. We think about changing our name eventually. If I move to Georgia, if I don't move to Georgia, then we got to worry about it. But if we do, if we both live in Georgia,
I still think because we are dads of the Dale, we are of the Dale. Like that is who we are, and that is who we will always be. And I mean, with a little caveat, dads of the Dale in Georgia. But I think Dads of the Dale is a brand. Guys, tell us what you think. I think Dads of the Dale is a brand more than just a location. It is a spirit, it is a way of thinking. L's up. Like no matter where I go, Lauderdale goes with me. So I don't know that we need to change our name. Daddy, I just don't want
here's
to.
what I was thinking about changing it, right? I was thinking of changing like Dads from the Dale. Not like changing it completely, just changing the of.
I'm not against that. The only reason I shudder at any change is because I have to go through all the marketing stuff. I go to YouTube. The email will stay the same, but I gotta go to YouTube. I gotta go to everything, and I gotta change it up. And it's just like, you know what?
Too much.
We're dads of the Dale, no matter what. No matter what. No
You
matter
got
what.
Right. Touche.
Bring palm trees wherever we go.
Yeah, I guess so. I think it'd be fine.
I think we'll be fine.
So how you liking it up there, bro?
Man, I have to say, first and foremost, it goes without saying that I'm a Florida boy, right? I've lived in various states, but when it's all said and done, I'm a Florida boy. I'm from the swamp. You feel me? If he's Toby from the SWAT, I'm Gio from the swamp. All right, South Florida is the swamp, bro.
Swamp land, bro.
We are swamp things. All right, we are Lauderdalians. No wonder why they call us Florida, like the Florida man, right? Like we are Lauderdalians. We're aliens to the rest of the United States, to the rest of the world. We have a different way of thinking. We have a different lingo. So no matter where I go, Lauderdale is who I be all day, every day, 365, 366 on the leap year. That being said, dang, it's dope up here, bro. Dang, it's dope up here, bro. Bro.
Just so you know.
I had to give you a long preface. But just so that nobody can go, no, listen, where I'm from is where I'm from.
Of course.
But dog, like if y'all have been seeing any of my stories, the scenery here lends to it. It is a filmmaker's wet dream. As a matter of fact, I just got done editing a short film. Like I'm done. We just shot a little short. I just got to color correct it, do a few tweaks, and I'm putting it out. Like
who was that on the bike?
Yeah, that was my cousin Premier.
They still here?
They left yesterday.
Oh.
They're thinking about moving here. So if they do, my film squad is growing. Yeah, because it's like that, bro. And we have a business opportunity here. Like, we are gonna build an empire here. I'm not gonna say, you know what? No. I'm gonna say it. We're gonna build an empire here, bro. Like, we're gonna build a real estate empire here. While that being my means of income, I'm still going to be making film. And what better place than to do that in Georgia where they have film incentives? And the scenery here is beautiful. And I mean, my mother-in-law's house and my father-in-law's house are huge. So, and I got access to both of them whenever I want. So I got basically two houses here. One in a neighborhood within a neighborhood. I mean, it's so dope. Like, bro, I can't wait to show you around. And then where I'm at, like the more suburban area. So that being said, aesthetically, it's beautiful. Now, mentally, I still feel like I'm on vacation. Like, okay, when is my week up and I'm flying back home?
Going back down. Right.
But I also think that this move happened at a perfect time because if it didn't happen during this entire pandemic, the the transitional period would have been it would have taken a lot longer. It would have
Sure.
been rougher. It would have been rougher. So with all this and with the laxness of work and everything, and then just even when this is all said and done, I'm not looking for a job. Like I'm literally gonna pick up on my family's business and build here. So
So is that like that's it? Like you've already talked, had that discussion? Like, hey, you know what? I ain't trying to find nothing to do nothing. Show me what you know. I'm finna do it.
yeah, that and they basically said it like they were the ones that were bashful about it. Even tonight they were like, and if you guys want, we want y'all to like if I want, say
Like,
less.
look, bro,
Put me in, coach.
bro,
I
teach
am
me some
ready.
things, bro. I've been
You
trying to
feel me?
I'm
Oh,
like,
bro,
real
that's what
estate
I'm
is
saying. Come
the
up
way
here,
to
we're gonna
go.
put you on the game, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like there's no shortage. And real estate is where it's at, man. Like you always, always, no matter what,
Always.
crash or not,
Everybody that's getting rich,
recession or not, right? And so
jokers that own sports teams, number 45, all of these jokers, real estate, bro.
it's all about it's all about generational wealth. That is my focus, and real estate affords me that opportunity.
And and
Now,
and and
now
rich parents have already started that generational wealth build. Y'all
right,
pick up on
and
it,
they
get to
want
reap
us
from it.
to join in on the building of an empire. Say less. Um, Brit's
Lucius
mom's
Lion.
Brit's mom's house. The basement is ginormous, dog. I've already in my head, if we take that place, have mapped out how I'm gonna build a studio, like a
If you take
full
it, she getting
production
ready to
house.
give that house to y'all.
No. That's if we take it. But if we don't, somebody else say. We're still trying to figure it out. Like if we're gonna take that, but if we don't take that house, I said wherever we look, basement needs to be comparable to that because I want
Sure.
to build a studio. Um, so all that to say, it's been dope. It's been cool. I'm getting used to it. Now, let me not pretend like here I go, foot in, like I'm ready for this. Real, like, bro, I'm petrified. I don't know anything about that stuff, bro. I'm a
Sure.
filmmaker. I'm a creative, but I know my lane and how I can fit in that lane in this specific area, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's that, bro. And so it's really cool, man. And in my mind, I'm just John the Baptist in this thing, bro. I'm paving the way for y'all to come up here, bro. Like that's it. Like that's it, bro. Like but it's dope. It's dope. I mean, and look, man, I really it hasn't hit yet, but it has. Like when y'all came to say goodbye, Samara was crying and I was feeling it, bro. Like
Sure.
we were both tearing up, like heavy. And then I was around a bunch of people too, so I was like, all right, now's not the moment to break down. I'm gonna have my moments for sure. But just going around the neighborhood, where we live, being able to sit outside in a patio of our own in
Mm,
peace is really cool. And the fact that our her parents are just like, yo, like we want help. That's what we want to do. Like, don't feel like you're imposing. We want to help. We understand the dynamics of what's going on contextually in this nation, and we don't fault you for it. So
mm.
it's not like I'm not doing anything. I'm busting my butt off 4 jobs just to make ends meet for an apartment that I can get the size of a house here, a big house.
A real big house.
You feel me? Yeah, fam.
A
So
real
all that to
big
say, like, bro, like
house.
I'm geeked. I'm geeked. I'm digging it. If you couldn't tell, I'm digging it. And
Yeah.
but I mean, again, this is still I've not even been here a week yet, so it's still like I said, it's vacation mentality that I'm trying to that is slowly going away.
Sure.
And thank God for technology, bro. I was talking to Samara today, Samara, and thank God for technology, bro, because man, we would be missing y'all something fierce, and
Sure.
we really still are. But at least we have this means, especially now, to be able to do all this, still do the podcast, and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Nice. Yeah, I think it's dope that like even doing the podcast, we've been doing this for weeks now. So this is not like
right.
it's not like okay, now let's figure out how to do this video stuff so we can still do it. It's like now we've already been doing it. Now it's just figuring out the mics and all that other junk. But for the most part, we're in this lane already. You know
We're
what I'm
good.
saying? So
We're good. And the other
it's
thing
dope.
about that is had the pandemic not happened, we would have had to move, and we would have still been able to do the podcast. But we would have had to move like up the street.
Right.
The pandemic is what made us had to move to Georgia, and then it's also what made us have to do the videos and the podcast the way we're doing it. So it kind of prepped us.
Yeah, but I miss doing it live, face to face, though, man. I'm ready to get back in the same room.
Yeah. That you can't. We're able to still keep that energy, but man, you can't replace live interactions and then having the camera set up, bro. Like we're gonna have, bruh.
It's gonna be lit, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man, right. Shoot, man. That's what's
For
up.
those listening, I make stupid faces. For those watching, you saw it.
You saw it. For those listening, if you ain't watching, stop tripping and go watch.
Go watch. The
Or
audio
come
might sound
watch.
better on the podcast, but I mean, whatever.
Who cares, man? What's better? Listening to us or watching us ain't listening to us?
Ooh.
Well, I
Take a
guess
break,
you
guys.
can't really
Take a break.
do
Take a
it if
break. Take
you're
a break.
not in your car. Most people listen to podcasts while they're driving, so I wouldn't recommend watching this while you're driving. I done drank
Or
almost.
you can. I mean, just don't blame it on us when we crash.
Yeah, you could, but we ain't responsible. We signed a waiver.
Yeah, we did.
I need to get my muscles up, man.
Like me? I need, but hey, you see me, boy. I'm out here, cuz. I got that skinny boy strong. Don't hate. Why you hating? I saw you the other day when I was hitting them pull-ups, boy.
Fingers are slipping. Fingers are
Okay,
slipping.
sure. Yeah, that's cool. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah. 270 now. 270.
Yeah, hey.
Jeez, boy, this quarantine got me tripping. I'm like, bruh. I saw
I'm
a picture
starting my
today.
workouts again tomorrow.
Me too. I'm like, bro, I saw a picture of Mike Tyson today, in September of last year and in May of this year on Instagram. If you ain't seen it, it's on ESPN shared it. The ESPN on Instagram, bro. Pot belly to flat tummy, dog. I'm like, bro, if a
Did you see the
53-year-old
video of him punching? Dude still got it, bro. The
still
dude is an
got it.
animal, dog. I
Seen
feel
the
sorry
edited
for
version too
anybody
of
who wants
somebody
to
when
kick
he
those
punched the
fists.
guy and he punched him through the wall.
Yeah.
Did you see that version?
Yeah.
Ah!
The internet is undefeated. The
Yeah,
internet is undefeated.
always, dog. Why is the internet so dope, dog? Whoever
Because
comes
there
up with
are
that
dope
stuff.
people attached, but then there are jerks attached. So,
Yeah. Gangster. What else
yeah.
is we gonna talk about, man? What else is popping off in the world, bro?
So, May 4th, yesterday. Move.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The new Star Wars is on Disney now, Disney Plus.
All on Disney. They dropped a whole bunch of stuff.
I feel like I have a hard time remembering if I watched that one, bro.
If you don't remember it, then you didn't watch it.
I'm like,
It's that simple.
I don't think. When did it come out? Like Christmas time.
It came out. Did it come out in December?
I'm like, I know I need to watch it, but I'm like, I don't remember going to the movies recently to watch it.
You want me to look up when it came out?
Watch it. I didn't watch it. I know I didn't watch it
Watch it. Okay.
because I'm thinking of the scene. No, I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I need to watch it. I'm excited about that. Is that number 8 or number 9?
Number 9. It's the last one. It's the closeout. It is the closeout, bro. Because I know you were like watching all of them so that you can lead up to it, and then I don't know what happened. I mean, as far as movie news goes, like there's a lot of stuff. I mean, like apparently there might be a Demolition Man 2 coming out, which I'm pretty geeked about because I love the first one. Maybe they'll explain the seashells. Just please explain the shells.
Don't leave us hanging like this.
Explain the shells, bro.
Do you think it would be one of those like continuation of from where they left off, or do you think it'll be a
the actors are too old?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It'll be a Blade Runner 2049 situation where they bring in the original cast, but they segue into a new cast more than likely. That's what I think.
That's what
Unless
I
they
hope.
stick with the original cast and somehow Wesley Snipes. Well, no, Wesley Snipes died in that movie, right?
Yeah, he did.
So yeah, they can't bring the Snipes back unless they clone him, which would be a cop out.
Yeah, that would be. But I'm like, would it be like, could they do a prequel?
No,
It wouldn't make sense, right?
no, no. And if they did, I wouldn't like that. Show me more of that world. I don't want to see a prequel. I don't want to see a prequel at all.
Dang it, Stallone, just stay retired, bro.
That dude ain't retiring.
He's so old, man.
Another piece of new movie news that I thought was interesting that made me just chuckle a little bit was Tom Cruise's space movie will film aboard the International Space Station. He is trying to film a space movie legitimately in space. This is a man who does all his stunts. Every stunt that you've seen, he's done. And he's always looking to push the envelope. So I'm very curious about that. I don't know why he
Interesting.
do that. But I'm not nah.
Yeah.
I saw on Netflix the Russo brothers drop that movie Extraction.
We started watching
that.
it yesterday. We didn't
Decent.
finish. We got like 30 minutes
Decent.
left. It was
It was
interesting
decent.
seeing. It was interesting seeing Chris Hemsworth. Hemsworth. I see.
Yeah.
It's interesting seeing him not in the Thor role, right? Because I don't think I've ever seen him in any other movie before.
I saw him in like one other movie, and that was High Seas, something Seas, where he played the captain aboard. Like it was like a loose translation of like Moby Dick.
Sure.
Tom Holland was in it. That was decent.
Let me tell you what I like from this movie so far. I still got 30 minutes left, so don't ruin it for me.
Okay.
I like.
No spoilers.
I like. Okay, chase scene. There was a chase scene where when he first got the kid.
Yeah.
And he jumped into the car and started running away.
Yeah.
That was pretty dope. The camera action was pretty dope. And I like the bad guy a lot.
Which one is the bad guy? The dad's friend?
The dad, no, the guy who took
the one who threw the kid off the roof.
Well,
never seen that in a movie before.
That guy, right? Not that fat dude, but the one who's running the show.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spoil that for you guys, but a kid was thrown off a roof. Like, dude, when was the last time you saw that in the movie?
Dude, I was like, this is kind of offensive right now, brah. I was like, my wife and I were like, definitely not expecting that. Like, that's legit what we said right there. Though. Like,
he just would think for them to be like, ha ha ha, okay, you spoke, I'm gonna let you go. No. They threw a kid off the roof.
They killed him, bro. Like he was done. So that, so I like the bad guy. I like the little kid, Ovi. I like Ovi.
Yeah,
he's a good kid. I like, it's just, it was interesting seeing Homeboy from Stranger Things in there too. I was like, okay, my dog, I see you. So yeah, so far it was pretty decent. My wife and I was asking her, I was like, is this a Bollywood film, man? Because this.
No, it just takes place there, and sometimes you realize it's good to do movies in other countries because it's probably cheaper.
Sure.
Now I could be speaking out of left field, but I do think that to be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I did. I'm not gonna front like I didn't. I just when I walked away from it when I was done thinking, okay. Will I watch it again? Probably not. But
probably not.
I'm not mad that I watched it.
Sure.
Didn't waste my time. It was good. I was thoroughly enjoying it. Another one that dropped is that Bright 2 is going to be coming out for Netflix.
Interesting.
Will Smith and Joe Edgerton, the two people
again, huh?
They're returning. Bright 2, yeah.
That was a good one. I liked it.
Disney theme parks reveal a 1 billion loss due to coronavirus. Big whoop.
Right. They making money still on ESPN. They making money on ABC.
And we're going to segue to ESPN in a second because I'd really love to hear your thoughts on that MJ documentary if you've been watching it. I only saw one episode, and it was pretty dope.
I love it.
Pretty dope. But there's a few other things that dropped that I'm drawing a blank on. Yeah, like Extraction 2. Joe Russo explains how sequel happened and reveals what to expect.
They got a sequel
Oh,
coming of the movie that they just dropped.
huh?
You said Extraction 2.
Yeah. They're gonna be. They're talking about how it came about, and I'm assuming what led to part two. There, a few people have been confirmed, like Robert Rodriguez confirmed as a director on Mandalorian season two. Robert Rodriguez he's known he's known, if I'm not mistaken, Robert Rodriguez is a Tarantino colleague, and they've done a lot of work together. Don't quote me on that. As a matter of fact, let me look right now. Their Netflix show reveals Steve Carell, The Office reunion. Apparently, I didn't see.
Office reunion. Don't do
Yeah,
it.
on I don't know. What else?
Don't ruin a good thing, y'all.
Another thing. Uh, Ant Man. Ant Man's director. Ant Man 1 and 2 director Peyton Reed. He's also signed on to direct the season in The Mandalorian season 2, an episode of the season 2.
Is that how it usually goes? Like different directors direct different
Yeah, I
episodes?
always thought that was something that I learned not too long ago. I always
Because
thought
I
that a
see that on
series
Game
was
of
directed
Thrones. Like,
by one person, but it's not. And I think
right,
that's how
Game
you
of
keep a
Thrones,
show
every
fresh.
episode. I
Huh?
still need to. I said that's how it is in Game of Thrones. Like I skip the intro all the time, and I always end up right at the end where it says directed by, and it's always, not always, sometimes you see similar names, but most times it's just names that are different. Every episode is different. I still got to
Here's
finish season 8.
there's a lot of movie news, and I'm drawing a blank. I should have been more prepared. I'm sorry.
Don't
Stu me.
we?
I just moved to a
Do
new
we
city.
ever prepare,
I
bruh?
have a lot in
Please.
my mind.
We never
Uh,
prepare.
right? But
Sorry.
here's a piece of movie news that I thought that was interesting. Nicolas Cage will be playing Joe Exotic in a Tiger King movie or a series.
Who's Joe Exotic? Is that the main guy from Tiger King?
That's the main guy from Tiger King. Now, why America is so good at making stupid people famous is beyond me, right? We're not going to get into it. Calm down.
It's not.
No, that's, but yeah, so that I thought was interesting that they're going to actually do a series. Like, why are they pushing this down our throat? Like, I guess people really want to.
I don't even watch those things, bro. Like I see all the memes and there's nothing about them make me want to watch them.
Yeah, I really don't care for it at all. Like, at all. Oh, here's a big piece of news. We'll stop movie news here with this one, okay? Taika Waititi, director of Thor Ragnarok, and director, if I'm not mistaken, of the season finale of The Mandalorian. Like, this dude is making a name for himself as if he didn't already have a name before, but he's like really becoming like a popular name. This dude has been tapped to direct a new Star Wars film. And guess who's the writers of one of your favorite films, 1917, are going to co-write with him.
Nice.
So I don't know what film they're going to do. Who's going to be is it going to be a new story? Is it going to be a pre-existing character? I don't know what. We know nothing. But that I thought was interesting. And I think that's probably the best movie news that has dropped recently. There's a bunch others, but I don't remember.
Who would be worth writing a separate story about in Star Wars?
Are you asking me objectively or subjectively?
Is objectively your opinion?
Subjectively would be my opinion.
Subjectively.
I would like Boba Fett, but we're not going to get that because the Mandalorian series is going to probably cover that lore. So then
Who would be number 2?
My next bet, I would like Obi-Wan, but we're more than likely that's not going to happen because, if I'm not mistaken, they already have the series. They're doing an Obi-Wan series for Disney Plus. So,
you know what I'm like? You know what's crazy? Like I forgot about all these Marvel series that are supposed to be dropping, bro. Like I've completely forgotten about them.
A lot of stuff got pushed back or delayed because of the virus.
Sure. I forgot about those things, man. Dang, I'm excited for that.
To those.
I'm really looking forward to them. I'm like, now that I brought it up again, I'm like, oh man, like I'm interested to see because they're gonna have the original movie actors, right? It's not gonna be like you
No,
know,
everybody's coming in.
the Flash has his own TV show, and then in the movie he's a different guy, kind of thing.
Right. They're not doing that. Marvel is about keeping a cohesive story.
Interesting though,
And
man.
their, and
Like
their, and
that's not
their
very
shows
common.
are, intertwined with the cinematic universe, which is smart because if you want a bunch of people and a bunch of fans to get by your product, tell them that they need to watch the shows to keep up with the movies.
Sure. You kidding me? Come on,
You
they're
can't. You
winning.
can't. That's why Boo Hoo. They lost $1 billion in revenue for their parks, but they're making so much elsewhere. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as who he could be, I mean, I don't think there's any hint. If I look at the article, and it's funny, right? They waited till yesterday to drop this news, May 4th.
Of course.
Uh,
Why not? Star Wars Day. Star Wars
right.
Day.
It doesn't say, but it says it was thought that if he did take on directing a new Star Wars movie, it would be filmed after he finished work on Thor: Love and Thunder. However, no official release date has been set for the new Star Wars movie, which means we can't get a good grasp on when YTT and his team plan to start shooting. Given his prowess, his creative prowess and popularity with fans, him boarding the next Star Wars film or movie and helping chart a course of life post Skywalker saga is an exciting and solid decision. I couldn't agree more. He's known for his the way he has his improvisational style, allowing actors some room to play with the dialogue while shooting and seeing where things go. Yeah. So and it doesn't say um, who he could be, who he'd be directing. So not who he'd be directing. I'm sorry. What it doesn't say anything, any prospects, and I don't think they
Sure.
would. This is just to get people excited. So with Comic-Con shutting down and all these other nerd venues shutting down, like this is the way that they flood the internet on May 4th, and I think given Taika Waititi the helms to the next film. Now here's my question, right? And I won't go too much into this, but Rian Johnson directed Episode 8, The Last Jedi, one of the most controversial films in the new series, and he was set to get his own trilogy as well. They loved what he did, at least in the studios, that they were giving him another trilogy. If I'm not mistaken, that's still happening. But a lot of fans were not excited because a lot of fans were also, The Last Jedi was split. It was either you really disliked it or you really loved it. I'm one of the people who think out of the new 3 movies that came out, it's the best one of the 3. It was the most daring. It was the one that didn't play it safe. It was the one that was ballsy. It was the most Lucasy in that a story was told despite fan expectations because the narrative was more important than nostalgia. Period. And that's why I think Last Jedi is the best. And so he directed that film, and they're giving him a trilogy. So now is Taika Waititi's film going to come before that or after that? That's what I'm curious about. And will he be the one to probably buffer between what Rian Johnson is going to do or not? See, I don't know. Like this is all conjecture. I haven't read enough. I haven't followed up on any reports. So, anyways, that's about as far as I know, and that's about where I'll end the movie news. But I'm excited to see what he does for sure.
Cool.
But in the sports arena, there's a lot of big news, especially if you're a Dolphin fan. Let's pass it over to Matthew Blair in the sports section. Sports. Oh, he's going in. Oh, touchdown. Ray Allen, back pedal for the 3. The haters done it.
Oh man. Oh man. Anyway,
We do gotta put a collage.
we
We
we gotta get
I'll work on
something.
it. I got you.
So Don Shula died yesterday.
That's a big deal.
Right?
For
Was it
those who don't
yesterday?
know anything about sports, why is that a big deal?
He's the winningest coach of all time. He was legendary coach of the Dolphins at some point. I think he won the championship with the Dolphins back when they went undefeated. If I'm not mistaken. Hit me with that fact check. Big name down here, man. Everybody who's been a Dolphins fan knows Don Shula, man. So he was one of the coaches that, I mean, I don't think he coached when they won the championship, but he definitely coached when we had Dan Marino, Dan the Man, um, at some point. Anyways, so yeah, so that
Yes, Don Shula, the NFL's winningest coach, who led the Miami Dolphins to the league's only
undefeated season of
undefeated
all
season.
time. Preach that.
No other team did that, by the way.
Period. The Patriots almost did, but sorry guys. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, man. So that I mean, it didn't hit me too hard. I wasn't even
Yeah,
around that much. I wasn't even in the sports when he was around. But there's a lot of people around here, man, who take it hard. So, but it's it's like one day when Dwayne Wade dies. It's like, dang, bro, like he's
yeah,
an icon down here, or Dan Marino. There's a couple of
yeah.
guys that are icons and that have made Miami their home, and so yeah. So that was a big loss. Um, we also, as a Dolphins organization, we got a nice little quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
I've been
Um,
hearing.
so I don't know how to pronounce homie's name, man. It's like it's like Tomatoa, but that's the character from
From
Moana.
Moana.
I gotta learn how to say his name.
Hasn't always been this way.
Hey, Glam. I was a drab little crab once. That's the cut right there, boy. Um, so some people aren't too excited about him because he's injury prone. Some people are excited about him because, man, it's a new face and it's a quarterback who's mobile. It's a quarterback who's athletic. It's a quarterback who's colored. uh,
Tua
say it right,
Tagovailoa.
right.
Him.
That's him. His name. So I'm excited about it. Just at the possibility of a quarterback who has a high upside, has good potential.
Right.
He's coming off an injury from his hip or his leg or something like that. So that's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? But the sports will tell you anything they want you to hear, right? The doctors always say, "Oh, he's fine, 100%. He's ready to play. He'll be good." But we'll see how it goes as the
We'll
season
see
goes.
how he
We
plays.
still got Fitzpatrick. As Fitzpatrick plays, my hope is that Fitzpatrick plays through the season. Homeboy gets some learning in, and if he doesn't, he probably won't be starting anytime soon. But if all goes well, maybe towards the end of the season, he'll start getting some reps in, and the next season will be lit. So that's dope. Obviously, this documentary dropped right around the time quarantine started. It's called The Last Dance that Jordan
Yeah.
died.
What is this documentary about? For those who don't know.
So it's a 10-part documentary, bruh, and every episode is an hour, and they
Yeah.
drop 2 episodes every Sunday. So far they're up to episode 6. So it's been 3 weeks. Um, it is essentially about the 97-98 Bulls, which was the last championship that the Bulls won together during the Jordan Pippen era.
Right.
And that year, that season, the Bulls gave like full access pretty much to the media to record and follow them around and pretty much track their whole season. I don't know if it was the intention to make this documentary or at some point make a documentary, but the season is
Release
riddled.
it through a future pandemic.
There was something, right? So the nuts thing about it is that it doesn't just tell you about them that season. It goes back to, it tells you
Each
the history of
episode.
the. It tells you about each player. Sometimes it digs into Dennis Rodman, digs into Jordan, digs into Pippen. And that's all I've seen so far. I think I've only seen the first 3 episodes. I want to speed through these things, but my wife and I are watching it together, so I'm trying to be patient. Because I'm like, bro, I want to plow through, man. So
And
it's
once
nice
it's
though.
on ESPN and are you able to watch it
It's
again?
on ESPN. It's weird. It's got when it starts, it says ESPN and Netflix. So I'm sure it'll be
But
on
it's not
Netflix.
on Netflix.
It's not on Netflix right now, but I'm sure it'll be on Netflix eventually. If you have ESPN, you should be able to watch it. You don't need ESPN Plus to watch it. You might not even need a login to ESPN to watch it, or somebody. But if I'm not gonna give away mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm using somebody else's.
Oh, okay, fair. I just got my brother-in-law's. It's fine.
There you go. So get somebody who's got like a Xfinity, Spectrum, Cox, whatever,
They're
internet.
watching it here where I live, so it's.
There you go. So you should be able to watch it just fine. But it's super well done. Honestly, I didn't even know Michael Jordan cursed, bro. And so it's like on the
Really?
ESPN app, you don't think about that kind of stuff because he's not very he's not in the media as much as somebody like LeBron, right? Like you see LeBron all the time, you see his face everywhere on everything. And then, but because they're, I don't know what it is about me and why I feel this way, but because they're they're in your face, right? So it's like hearing a kid actor curse for the first time, right? Somebody you seen as a kid acting, and then they're an adult, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, you you can say that. It's like they're different than us as humans, right? I don't know why I always feel that way. It's always like, oh, but again, they're athletes. They play in a sport where any sport is vulgar, as vulgar AF.
There's
So
that famous scene where Jordan's like, "You."
yeah, so it's like, but hearing him curse is just funny because it's like he an old country boy from North Carolina. He don't sound country, but I'm like, you country boy. His mama calls his dad Mr. Jordan. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, look, boy, y'all country like a mug, boy. Anyways, really good documentary. If you haven't started watching it, man, take a look at that, man. It'll give you an insight into. It's cool to see, um, because Michael Jordan doesn't play anymore, and because his videos probably aren't as watched as much because of people like Steph Curry, LeBron, KD, and all that stuff. You forget, you know what I mean? Like I'm seeing a lot of these clips and a lot of these highlights, and I'm just like, dang, like I used to drool over these highlights when I was a kid because I had this one documentary, not documentary, I had this one tape, Michael Jordan's Playground when I was a kid.
Mm.
And I played it almost every day, man. It was like Space Jam, Michael Jordan's Playground. And I had those VHS, and I just pop them in. And those would get me inspired to go hoop. And then after I watch it, I go hoop and try the moves and do the stuff. And I would do some of the things, like I don't know if you've seen where he's dribbling down the court and he jumps up and turns into somebody, turns his back, and then kind of flips it up. I've
Yeah.
done that a couple times in the game, and I'm like, boy, that junk did. But to see how creative and how that Joker could score the ball, man. Like he could put that thing in the hoop like nobody I've ever seen. Like LeBron is big, he's strong, he can get to the basket. LeBron's still my favorite player. I'd still take LeBron over Jordan. But Michael Jordan could score like nobody I've ever seen, man. Like
I
it's crazy.
so help me. I always used to say Jordan will get wrecked by LeBron because LeBron is bigger, stronger. It's a different era. But watching this documentary, and are you caught up?
I'm on the documentary. I'm up to episode 3.
Okay, so you're not caught up. Never mind.
Uh,
Okay, so
no.
what I'll say is
I've seen obviously
the
the bad.
man thrives off of challenge
Sure.
heavily. And I wonder if LeBron and Jordan were in the same era. I think I give the edge to Jordan because Jordan always was like, "Oh, you beat me? No, no, no. You don't understand. I will come back and beat you. I will come back and embarrass you." Like he just had a hunger. He did not like to lose, and when he lost, he came back. He always came back harder. Whereas when LeBron has lost, he'll come back harder and then he'll do his thing. He's LeBron. But like Jordan had this insatiable appetite from what I'm seeing for competition.
Sure.
Like he was competitive at everything he did, whether it was flipping quarters, as you'll see in the documentary, or whatever, bro. He was competitive. There's
Yeah.
one part of the documentary that gives context to that play where he just goes like this and he's running down the court like this. They give context. I always saw that. They give context to it in one of the documentaries, and I was just like, oh my goodness. I used to say and be of the mindset that LeBron would take Jordan because of the era. But if the mind of LeBron and the mind of Jordan were in the same era, the mind of Jordan outweighs LeBron by a long shot because Jordan has this insatiable appetite to best anybody who's bested him. And if anybody tries to be a challenge to him, he will rise to the challenge and shut them down.
Sure. I think that's 100% true. I think his competitive nature is crazy. I think
Let me
um
add killer instinct.
oh
The
yeah, he's
dude
got
had a
it.
killer instinct.
He's got it. LeBron is definitely more passive in the sense that he doesn't feel like he needs to take the last shot. He doesn't feel like he needs to be the one to win the game. He wants to make the best play, which for me is fine. I'm like, if you know somebody's open, and this is something that they alluded to in when Phil Jackson started coaching the team. when Jordan would, coach would tell him things like, these guys can help you. You know what I mean? Like when you drive into the basket, it was one series in the year that they first won the championship where he started just dishing the ball off to John Paxson, and he was just hitting threes everywhere. And it was like, oh, like I
Like
can use these people.
championship, like the game-winning championship in
Right.
'93.
So that's how LeBron has always played. And so people look at that and think, oh, LeBron ain't as competitive as Jordan is. And I'm like, they play differently. LeBron has always been a pass first kind of player. He scores when he needs to, as he has to, and he's shown things, right? So I'm not gonna debate and make it seem like, oh yeah, like Jordan has got that. Jordan, Kobe,
Right,
that's them. Like they're
right.
like for real, give me the ball, get out the way. I'm gonna do this jump.
Like they asked him, they said, who always takes the game-winning shot? Last minute on the play, you need to get it to somebody who's gonna take the game-winning shot. He's like, me. It's a stupid question,
Mm-hmm.
but his arrogance to me wasn't what's this guy's name that used to play with Kevin Durant?
Westbrook.
Westbrook. It wasn't like a cockiness that was back on and off. It was this dude literally does what he says he's gonna do.
Sure.
99.9% of the time.
Sure. But see, this is the thing too that I think that gets overlooked, and because this is what I appreciate and what I've always learned and known about Jordan is he still needed a team of people to help him out. Because if you think about the time he won his first championship was 1991, right? He got drafted in 84.
Right.
And the amount of times he got beat by the Pistons, like nobody talks about that kind of stuff. It's like he got beat 4 years in a row by the Pistons. And it wasn't until they had the pieces that he needed. And again, it's that's why I'm like, in one-on-one, I'd still take LeBron because height advantage, size advantage, strong. Like there's just ways that you can beat a guy. You can just back him down. Like if anybody's gonna play me one-on-one and they're shorter than me, I know I'm going to win because one, I'm taller than you, I can block your shot a lot easier. Two, I'm gonna back you down. Unless you crossing me up and drop me on my ankles and stuff like that.
What do you say to the individual who rebuttals with the fact that Jordan, big people couldn't stop him?
Sure. He couldn't because he's so good at scoring the ball. You know what I mean? Like he could put the ball in the basket no matter what.
No matter what. Like I saw the things that he was doing. That's why I'm like, I hear that LeBron can back him down, but like, man, this dude was like insane, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot how
right. So think about how it works, right? This is how most of the times this works. In one-on-one, again, basketball ain't a one-on-one sport, so it don't matter, right? But in a one-on-one situation, it would be different because he would have to get around and get through LeBron the entire time, right? Where in a 5-on-5 situation, he drives by, let's say the 2 guard or 3 guard is guarding him. The reason he's going over these big guys is because they're focused on their player, and it's like, crap, Jordan's coming in. I turn around. By the time I turn around and jump, Jordan's already in the air. You know what I'm saying? It's a switch kind of defense as opposed to them.
That's true. Who's got a better shooting average though, Jordan or LeBron?
Shooting average as far as their percentage goes?
Yeah, like who shoots better?
Jordan definitely got a better jump shot. His shot is better in the middle. LeBron is a better three.
So then, what would you say then that all Jordan had to do was get somewhere to shoot, and if not, pump fake him? Like that's what I'm saying. Like the reason why I was with you up until literally like 2 days ago.
Sure.
I was like, look, like LeBron is gonna always eat Jordan, different era, big guys, whatever. But when I looked at how the Pistons played, bro,
yeah, no, they were rough, man.
They were rough, and he rose to the occasion. He was like, okay, he was like a computer. He's like analyzing this. This is how we're gonna get. Like he rose to every challenge where, admittedly, LeBron hasn't.
They've got different challenges too, though.
Sure, but what I'm saying is like Jordan stayed with a losing team and then stayed with them to the point where a team got built around him, and LeBron didn't go to. There was no super teams.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
So, and again, I'm speaking as a novice, not somebody who's as deeply ingrained as basketball as you are. I'm just looking at as an average novice spectator, somebody who enjoys the sport. when I look at LeBron play, I see and I am in awe of how massive this dude is, how slow he should be, how slow he's not. When I look at Jordan play, I'm not looking at his speed or anything. I'm looking at this dude is an android.
He's
This
crafty. Yeah.
dude, this dude has found a way to rise to every single occasion. And then, and then it's not like he's like talking smack after the fact. He's quiet after the fact, talking loads of trash before the fact, saying,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm going to do to you. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
no, watch me. And he does it.
Sure. Sure.
So, like, I feel like I hear what you're saying, dude, but I feel like after watching this documentary, it reminded me of, because I think removed from it for so long, I grew up. I think I remember
Sure.
the last time I saw Jordan play, I remember watching him play the Utah Jazz
Mm-hmm.
in the playoffs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In that playoffs with Karl Malone, I remember watching that, bro.
Oh yeah.
And I remember just being inundated and saturated in the culture of Jordan. So it was whatever. Years go by, and okay, Jordan's a legend. He's in the pantheon. And then after a while, I'm seeing all these other greats come along in between now and
Sure.
then, like Kobe, like LeBron, like D Wade, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm seeing all these people come, Vince Carter, all these people come, and I forget about Jordan. Not that I forget about him, but I'm like, was he that good, or did we just get better?
Sure.
And
Sure.
then I
Sure.
go
Sure.
back and I watch, and I'm like,
No, he was lit. He was lit.
whoa, this dude, like, you don't, he didn't embellish his legend. His legend spoke for itself.
Sure. Yeah, man. I mean, it's hard to debate. That's why it's so challenging to compare between eras. You know what I mean? It's like it was like Jordan played in a different type of basketball. He started putting on weight because of the Pistons. You know what I mean? Like he
Right.
started
Yeah, he
working
went to
out.
the gym. He was like, I lost. I'm gonna go in the gym. I'm gonna
I'm gonna
start
work out.
working out.
I got to get stronger. I'm gonna bully them now.
But
You
that's
see what I'm
but
saying?
that's what I like about Jordan is that it doesn't, whether it was weight, speed, whatever the challenge was, he always rose up to meet it. Always.
Sure.
I don't know if I can confidently say, and maybe you can correct me as the sports guy here. I don't know that that's the same for LeBron. I don't know that he rises up to the
Here,
occasion.
here's my here's my
Jordan
here's my
always rose up to the
LeBron
occasion.
defense. Here's my LeBron defense,
Okay.
and this is gonna be my defense until someone can come up with a better one. Right? The comparison is usually aside from
Don't bring
the
rings. Don't bring rings. Don't bring rings into this.
right. It that's where it ends up going
No. Because
because
if that's the case, we got
well
to
that's
give it to somebody else.
well it's not that it's not just the rings, but it's the competition against who he's playing against. Right? The difference in competition. If you
Sure.
think about the people, if think about when LeBron went to the championship the first time, right in 2007, I literally almost stopped watching basketball that year because he got swept by the Spurs. Right? Tim Duncan, Manu
Right.
Ginobili, Tony Parker,
Right.
one of the
He
greatest
went up
teams.
against great people. I'm not gonna take that away from him.
But
Yeah.
think about who he had on his team. Most people can't tell you the number two player on that team.
Right.
That Cavs team. It was literally like people make memes about like LeBron James won 61 games with this team, and there's a bunch
Yeah.
of dudes who are like, who that?
Yeah.
Like who is like even me? I'm like, who is that guy?
Right.
And if you think about the teams that Jordan beat, he beat the Lakers for his first championship in 1991, which was 11 years after Magic Johnson got drafted into the league. So old Magic Johnson, not too much, but
Right.
old Magic Johnson. When he beat the Jazz, John Stockton and Karl Malone been playing in the league as long as Michael Jordan, and they're older than him. I think they came in a couple years before Jordan did. So you got two guys who, like, if you look at Karl Malone, he can't even jump no more, right? He goes from a high flying son of a gun to like this dude was like 39 during those championships.
Right.
But LeBron's playing against Golden State Warriors.
Right. No, I don't take that away from you. My only rebuttal to that would be that if you remove all that and you just kept the mindset, the mind, just the mind,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the body.
Jordan and Kobe got the two of the greatest
That's what I'm saying.
competitive natures of all
Kobe
time.
and Jordan have always had that
They're
killer
killers.
instinct of where, like, it's rare that I've ever heard any sports announcer say, oh crap, they pissed LeBron off. But I always hear, oh crap, they don't piss Kobe off. Or, oh crap, they pissed Jordan off. We don't want to do that. Now we need to be ready. When he played against the what was it? Was it the Knicks in '98 or whatever, where he lost the first two and then came back and just went ham? Like like that's not something LeBron would do. LeBron would come back and then but his frustration would like he'd stay stuck up here. Whereas, and I always heard Renzo say this, but I never understood it until I've watched it. Jordan has a killer instinct.
Yeah.
Jordan
LeBron doesn't have a killer instinct. He
doesn't.
can't play frustrated. That's why he doesn't get frustrated.
Can.
He
As a
actually
matter of
messes
fact,
up.
Jordan sometimes in documentary, from what I've learned, he would create drama just so that he can play frustrated and then come back and be
Sure.
like if there's one thing that separates Jordan from LeBron, besides error, is that if you were to take them and put them in the same era, Jordan would be who he is, and I would feel like LeBron would be who is comparable that year. I hate to say this, and maybe I'm off in saying this, but
I say Charles Barkley. Get the fuck out of here.
What I'm saying is that as far as passive nature, because Charles Barkley could
Charles
play.
Barkley was hella competitive. He just didn't have the right pieces, dog. He had Michael Jordan messing his team up.
So then who
That's
can
why
I think of?
won championships, because Jordan ruined their lives, dog.
Right. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so maybe Tim Hardaway.
Nah, I mean, maybe.
Okay, nobody is compared to Jordan. Nobody. We get that.
He's in the stratosphere.
I mean LeBron. Nobody can compare in the era. But ultimately, what I'm saying is, when you look at hunger and thrive and drive and appetite, and I'm saying the same thing various ways. Jordan takes the cake.
That's
like
fine.
Honestly, Jordan has always been more hungry.
I can't argue with that.
I think that's why if I say put them in the same era, it would be a situation where if they both had the right pieces, LeBron would probably lead the series. Jordan would get pissed, come back, and go nuts. Where if you take Kobe and Jordan in their prime, I don't know who to give it to, because they both have this about them. It's a quarter toss. It can go either way. Go either way.
I still take LeBron.
Yeah, and I get that. I get why. You're a LeBron fan. I mean, honestly, I'm over here. I'm a Wade fan, bro, because I'm whatever. But I can't even put him in that category. Wade would be the Barkley of that series.
Most def. Yeah. He definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or the Tim Hardaway.
If him and LeBron never teamed up, like, obviously he got his championship in 2006, so it's like can't really say much about that. But if Shaq didn't come,
he needed more. He needed help.
Shaq,
even when he had Shaq, he carried that team.
Mm-hmm.
He did. What I'm saying? Like, they don't
big
call him Flash for no reason.
Sure.
Like,
no, he was lit.
He
had
on it. But I mean, when I look at it now, like, now it makes sense. And I guess it was only because he was a Laker and I was a Heat fan.
I think it was unfortunate, man, is the fact that they started comparing LeBron to Jordan from the time he was in high school. I was like, that's for y'all. They set him up, unfair. I'm like,
there's no reason for that.
Y'all set that poor kid up, man. I'm like, this is a kid from a single parent household. I mean, I've seen documentaries on LeBron. I don't know how many people watch his documentaries and stuff, man. His life was bad, dog. You know what I mean? Like, Michael Jordan came from a nice family, got both parents, got brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? It's like, got a good life. 100%. LeBron James lives on the street like a mother. I'm like, dog, come on.
They should have never put that type of load on him.
They shouldn't 100%. Have, man. Because they're so different, man. And that's why even us having this debate is like, they're so different. Like, you got one dude who's a killer, and you got one dude who's like, yo, I want to be friends with everybody.
Right.
That's why so many old heads of the past are like, oh, the NBA today, man, all this buddy. Like, that's LeBron. Like, LeBron did that. You feel me? Yeah. Like, LeBron is the person that has made everybody like, yo, man, what's up, man? I'll dap you up after a game, dog. It's all cool. Where back when Jordan and them were playing, Pistons walking off the dang court before they even win the game.
So you know what that would be comparable to? That'd be comparable to the WWF Attitude Era versus the era after. LeBron would be the John Cena, and Michael Jordan would be The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Different eras where it was just like, versus here's this happy WWE. Like, which I could understand for hardcore basketball fans, them being like, okay, I respect the man, but like when I grew up, people were elbowing each other. How you gonna get through it? How you gonna
Right.
get through this competition?
But that's
Whereas
what's so
now
funny
it's
to me. It's like that's what's
well,
funny.
you
Like
see
you
the
really
slow
want to
motion
play like
tapes.
that, dog? I'm like, I hate when dudes is elbowing each other. What? Everything just shut down?
There's a roach in here, bro.
Man, dog, you got me over here thinking that our whole podcast is
I gotta
going to.
kill it. Talk to the people. I gotta kill it.
Are you kidding me, bro? You don't, is it flying? Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. We should have just ended it, man. We had an hour anyways. So I'm
Oh,
gonna
it
talk
ran
to
away.
people. My gosh. I can't. I ain't talking to nobody.
All right,
I
guys.
ain't talking to nobody.
Listen, I did not think I would see a roach here that big.
Oh gosh.
There's a roach here, and
Oh,
hopefully it didn't come from Florida.
bro, you made it seem like it was a rat, dog.
I would prefer a rat over a roach.
Are you kidding me, bro? You can kill a roach, bro. You can't stomp a rat. That's gross. You gonna stomp a rat? Rat or
Yes.
roach? We definitely got to put a poll up for this, bro. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Rats?
Bro, you know why? You know why
I
this?
heard a rat die under my stove. That junk is gross. I
I
don't mind stomping my
never.
poop on a
Okay,
roach.
look. In all fairness, it's been a while since I had to deal with rats. Like past the days of when I was poor, and that same time when I told you like roaches would crawl across my table and I would catch a lizard. Like I hate roaches, bro. And I've been lucky to have a cat keep rats away. I've never dealt with a rat before. Okay, so maybe I need new competition.
Gross.
But roaches.
I'll,
I hate
I'll
roaches.
stomp a roach out, man. Roach don't
And I
bother me,
hate
especially when
the
I hear
roach
people be like,
came.
palmetto bug.
There's a
Stomp
roach
him
here,
out.
bro. There's a roach here.
I guess everybody's got their thing, man. I
I
hate
hate
reptiles.
roaches, bro.
I hate
Bro,
reptiles.
I'll take a reptile any day of the week because the reptiles get rid of the roaches and then leave the house. The roaches do nothing but leave more roaches.
Yeah, bro, but you talk like you catch lizards, dog, and you tripping over a roach.
Roaches are gross, man. Lizards actually do something for society. Name what a roach does.
They eat roaches. That's gross. Can you imagine
They
what their
get
poop is
rid
like?
of the thing that 99.9% of everybody in the world hate, except for the people, the 0.1% that eat them.
They eat the roaches that you're so
More
gross by.
people like lizards than they do roaches.
So the roach is gross. The lizard eats the roach. You touch the lizard. Tell me what's more gross, the
Bro, you
roach
eat
or you
shrimp, you're
touch?
gross. You eat roaches of the sea.
Cook all of that out, bro. You cook
Nah,
all of that out,
nah.
and plus you scoop out
Listen.
the back of
Okay,
the
guys, look, in
slide.
my defense, for those who are listening to this, I grew up in poverty. Okay, rather poor, not poverty, poor. Okay, I didn't grow up in poverty. I grew up poor. What is a Terminator? We can't afford a Terminator to come to our house and get roaches. So I caught lizards, let them loose in the house. They got rid of all the roaches, and then when all their meal was gone, they left. The roaches, on the other hand, stay continuously coming for the meals. Where do they do that at? Lizards leave when there's nothing to eat. Roaches stay because there's always something to eat.
Stomp them out, baby.
You
And
can't stop an army of roaches out.
get some raid, baby. Get them little roach killer thing, bro. Made you look.
Okay,
Woo.
so you can get raid and put chemicals in your house, and I'll let a lizard through. Lizards don't spread any diseases. We're good to go.
Mother loving girls.
Would you guys rather spend money on an exterminator slash terminator, or would you rather let a lizard in your house, get rid of it for free, and then when the lizard has eaten up all its food, leaves?
I would love to see how many people put a thumbs up for catching a freaking lizard. Gross. All you gross dudes out there used to run around and play in the dirt catching lizards as young boys. Gross.
I still catch lizards, G. I love lizards. You know
Mother
what though?
loving gross.
Nobody, with the exception of that 0.1%, says they love roaches.
I don't love
A
roaches
lot of
either,
people like
but I ain't
lizards.
afraid to stomp a roach out. I'll stomp him
Me
out,
neither,
bro.
but I didn't have anything
H-Town
to
stomp.
stomp them out with. And then I didn't want to make too much noise on the podcast. Do you guys understand
My dog
that?
left me alone for 30 seconds.
Not even. It was 15 seconds at max, 15, 20.
Nipple
Now,
showing.
now I don't know where that roach is at. I gotta ask them when we leave this podcast. I have to ask the people: do you guys have roaches here? Because if you don't, we may have brought a palmetto tree
Brought
here.
some.
Not
Florida
only did
roach.
we bring 2 children, we brought a roach.
Gross.
That's
Well,
gross. It's really gross. I
11:30, bro. It's done, bro. I'm done.
Yeah,
Time to
we've been
be
going for
done.
about an
I got
hour,
an hour and
and we
4 minutes. That's what I
spent
got.
half of the time talking about sports.
That's a good episode in my book.
What are we gonna call this episode? Sports and things, catch up and things, Georgia and things.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Why don't we just call this
Let's
episode
call it.
and
Let's...
things?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
I ain't
That was a
mad
good
at it.
discussion, man. I like that. I like that. I like that. Jordan and LeBron, the worst comparison of all time. They need to just keep it at Jordan and Kobe, man. Like Kobe is by far the closest thing that we've ever seen to Jordan.
Yeah,
Period. He's
yeah.
like him, walks like him. You don't ever notice? You notice in that documentary, like Jordan always looks like he's limping.
Oh, how he's walking
He
like.
always looks like he's limping. Like I'm like your body is in pain or something, bro. Because I'm like,
Well, wait till you watch episode 5
see,
and
that's why
6.
I'm like, I just want to watch it, man. And I'm like, dang, bro.
Watch episode 5 and 6. There's some things that you'll see, especially like around the shoes and stuff. Like, man,
Shoes
this.
back in the day were terrible.
Yeah,
Say no
yeah.
more, man.
I
Don't do
mean,
it.
yeah, no.
Don't
The dude always left it out on the line, bro. Always. And then, like, the comparison of, oh, it's hot in here, I can't play, versus I got a fever, I'm about to literally pass out. Let me just take the game winning shot real quick, and then I go take my medicine.
flu
Mentality.
game. That's
But
it,
yeah,
man.
you're right. Kobe is the best thing since Jordan. And honestly speaking,
He got a hashtag Mamba mentality. That's it.
and I can't wait for you to watch episode 5 and 6 because
They talk
you
about Kobe,
see
huh?
you see how Jordan viewed young Kobe and the
Yeah.
way he talked about him,
Yeah.
bro.
He that's the one thing that again, like he doesn't give LeBron that acknowledgement. You know what I mean? Like
He
Kobe
doesn't.
never says, at least to my knowledge, growing up, like, man, Jordan has been the one I've been following. Like you can see it in Kobe's game. Like that Joker got the same jump shot. It ain't
Right.
even a joke. Same
No,
fadeaway.
he's
Same thing.
mirrored Jordan's game.
Mm-hmm. They walk the same, bro. Like he walked like Jordan on the court. I'm like, you tripping? Chew gum like him. But it's like, man, bro, like LeBron, they never get that love from Jordan, bro. I'm like, it is what
I
it
don't,
is, man.
and I wonder why. I think it's because
It's because they've been
here's
comparing
why.
him since he was in high school, bro.
Here's
Kobe
why.
wasn't getting that. Kobe
Here's
was,
why.
he didn't play that
Here's
first
why
season.
I think Jordan, and you can probably correct me if I'm wrong. Not only was it that people were comparing him, but he came in thinking, yeah, I'm that boy. Versus Kobe didn't come in with that arrogance. His game spoke for itself. LeBron
Right.
came in saying, oh, I'm the next Jordan. That's what everybody's saying. Watch me. And then the whole thing with the Heat, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5.
Put his
Kobe
foot in
never
his mouth.
spoke.
Put his foot
Kobe
in his
never
mouth.
spoke. And I think that's what makes Jordan go, you talk too much. That's your game talk. Which is why he made that commercial for Jordan. I mean, for Kobe. I mean, for LeBron, where everybody says, who's the best? Not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. They say something. I say, prove it. Right? He's saying, stop talking and prove it. Kobe didn't talk.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe proved it.
Yeah.
LeBron talks too much.
He does.
And I think that's why he'll never get love from Jordan, because he's like, you talk too much. Just let your game talk. Why are you giving into this? Like, let your game talk. You're so busy trying to talk and be like me that you're missing the mark because you're talking too much.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because they always gonna bring up the championships. I'm like, dang on it. My dog only got 3. He old now, bro. He's 35 years old, bro. I'm like,
do you think he'll get any more?
I think this year he would have got one. I think they were
this current year, prior to the virus.
If this virus didn't shut down, I think they were on track. People keep saying that the Clippers would have beat them, but I think they would have beat the Clippers in a 7-game series. I'm like, I think they would have had the advantage. Kawhi Leonard is a great defensive player. and Paul George is as well. But I think the Lakers are coming on, starting to get a roll, man. So, but it is what it is, man. I'm like, at this point, I'm like, yo, Kobe obviously got shot into that junk even more so now since he died. You know what I mean? But it's like, I think I've given up trying to compare eras. It's just so different, man. Like you got dudes back in the day playing in Chucks, the worst shoes of all time.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
back
yeah,
in the
yeah.
60s, they playing in Chucks. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And now dudes in the NBA are physically. I think the dudes in the NBA today would bruise the dudes in the NBA of the past if the dudes in the NBA today were allowed to play like that. You know what I mean? Like they've gotten soft because the rules have changed to the way that they play. So it's
Which is
not
why
as
they
brutal.
probably were allowed to get as why they're allowed to get as big as they are, like
Sure.
big physically, because the people back then they didn't get that big because they were playing rough, and it was like we're gonna kill each other. So if you weigh it out and if you adjust for
But
inflation, if
but
you
that's
will,
it's the size of athletes now is science. That's all scientific. Like they
yeah,
they know how to lift better. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
Arnold
you're right.
Schwarzenegger was a great bodybuilder, but bodybuilders today are way better than he is, but they're not going to be as great as he is because of the time that Schwarzenegger came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
he
like
said
if you look
he
at their bodies, you're just like, are you kidding me? Like, I didn't even know that kind of muscle existed. You know what I mean? It's the science of it is different.
You're right.
But
Jordan talks about how like back in his day when he first came in, people were smoking cigarettes and drinking beers during halftime. Right? Right? Like
yeah, yeah.
so you're right. Sports players aren't doing that now. It's all about certain vitamins and you're right.
These
You're right. Like
jokers got personal chefs, bro. Like it's you get better, but it's like
so that's why I say if you adjust for inflation and if Jordan were to be in the same era as LeBron with that mentality, having a personal chef, the science of his body, I give the edge to Jordan because body or not, it's up here.
I hear
That's the only reason why I give the edge to him.
sure.
That's the only reason why. Nothing else. If his mindset wasn't what it was, then he would have gotten smashed. I think Barkley in any era would be smashed by LeBron. You know what I'm saying? Like I just you put I mean I think you put LeBron against Patrick Ewing. You know same era you put them together. LeBron is they're gonna muscle each other up. Where I think where I really do think it's different is it's the mindset, and that's where
Sure.
Jordan outclassed everybody in his era. And I think that if you were to put Jordan in this era where his body needed to adapt to what everybody else's body was doing, he would be. I think he would be a taller
He'd still
version
be
of
head and
Russell.
shoulders.
Yeah, yeah, he would. Yeah, yeah, he would. Yeah, he would be there. He'd be like Russell Westbrook.
I think he'd be a better version of Kobe.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Better put. I
He would
think
be
he'd be a
Kobe.
better
Like
version of Kobe.
Kobe became that. Kobe was skinny. He started putting on some muscle, started
Right.
lifting,
Kobe
but
became
because
that.
they're so smart.
Right. Kobe became that because that's the era that he followed. But now imagine if Jordan were in this era and he went against LeBron and then somebody like Kobe came after. Oh my God, the league would be like let's say Kobe came after Jordan of this current era and our current era,
Sure,
the league would be on fire because then
sure.
we would have two generations of like this mentality of just electrifying basketball
Yeah.
playing.
That's one of the things that kills me about everybody in the NBA. I'm like, you can tell everybody's mindset is different. You know what I mean? It's like some people are like, I'm going to be the best. It's my job, dog. Like I get
Yeah.
paid to be great. And it's like, I used to always tell myself, I'm like, why ain't everybody in the NBA the best? You know what I mean? Like now you put the worst player in the NBA on any basketball court in America or in the country, they're gonna smash everybody.
Right.
Unless you're like, Todd McCullough, which you got to go back for that one. Um, but I think you can tell there's certain players that come into the NBA and it's like, I made it. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good. It's just like, bruh, like you got so much potential, man. Like,
What was that dude that we watched the documentary on from Staten Island, whose cousin was Marbury?
oh,
Uh,
Sebastian Telfair.
but he's the kind of guy that was really good, went to the NBA and was like, I'm good, and then ended up being pure.
Yeah, I'm always interested to hear what happened to his story because I'm like, you watch that documentary of him, he's just like, because we used to watch it at the crib together,
Yeah,
man. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, this dude's gonna be lit, bro. And then you don't hear about him no more. You're just like, I'm like, it could be his body size, could be, whatever, man. It's a bunch of things, man. Bunch of things, man. But
Let's see where he's at real quick before we end this episode.
before we end this, Mug,
Sebastian Telfair is an American former professional basketball player who played in the NBA and the Chinese Basketball Association.
dang.
He was picked 13th overall in the 2004 NBA draft by Portland Trailblazers on the heels of an eminent high school career playing for Abraham Lincoln in Brooklyn.
I think he's still the most has the most points by any high school player in New York.
In the league or
In high school. In high school in New York history. I think he's still numero uno. But see, that kind of stuff don't matter, dog. That's what I think is challenging about the NBA and professional sports today. Everybody's so good at high school that by the time they get to college, it's like, okay, we'll see who sets themselves apart. Then you get to NBA and say, all right, we'll see who sets themselves apart again.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like back in the day, there was dudes who was like, yo, these guys head and shoulders above everybody else. But it's like you watch these high school tapes. I don't even trip. People be tripping. I don't trip. So, like Austin Rivers, he was the Ball brothers, Lonzo Ball. Yo, this cat is gonna make waves. Go to college, make waves. Go to NBA. He all right. He all right.
It says
Zion Williamson, on the other hand, now that sucker, jeez.
Yeah. It says here that Telfair, 34, was arrested in New York in 2017 after being pulled over in his vehicle, at which point police said they found a cache of firearms and ammunition. He was convicted in April on a charge of second-degree criminal possession of a weapon and faced a sentence of up to 15 years. I don't know how many years he's serving now.
So he's in prison right now?
I don't know. That I don't know. I'm not going to go deeper in here, but
yeah, that's too much.
No, he was sentenced to. You said, "Let's do it."
No, I said that's too much.
Oh, I was like, no, I don't want to do anything.
I'm ready to turn this thing off. Sleep.
Yeah, I think it says he was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison for gun possession. So he was sentenced. He was facing 15. He was sentenced to 3.5, which means that was in 2017, which means he will be out sometime this year.
Good behavior. Well,
if that's true, I don't know. I got to follow up, but it doesn't matter. I don't care enough about Telfair.
Anyways, where they find you at, blood?
They can find me at GOH8. Considering changing my name to Tatooine Poppy, but we'll leave it at G.
That was hilarious, bro. Happy Star Wars Day from Tatooine Poppy.
I'm thinking about it. Oh
my gosh, that's great. You can find me at Bearded Black Dad.
Right, and then they can find us at Dads of the Dale on IG, or they can send us or on Facebook, first name Dale, last name Dads. If you want to send us an email, where can they send us an email at, man?
dadsofthedale@gmail.com.
Gmail.com. We say it every week. Nobody sends us an email,
but it's okay, man. We just put it out there, man. We accessible.
We growing.
The boy, what's that boy? Gary V. That's his name, right? He said, "Hey, grinded 14 hours a day for 4 years making a podcast. We gonna keep plugging away."
Ding, we are not letting this ship go down, because it's not going down. It's just empty. We're trying to get you on board a real fun cruise ship right now. But
hey, man, you build it, they will come.
If you build it, they will come. On that note, before I go off to find this roach, because I will find this roach, the first one I've seen here ever. Okay, it's your boy Gio.
It's your boy Matt.
And we the Dads of the Dale.
Oh.